Okay, so I'm working on my Eureka Victory here. This is going to be one of my last goes at trying to get this motor to sound good, or at least a little better. I've gotten it to sound better a little bit on the last time I took it apart. Okay, it's got like some kind of squeak. Shush. So I think where the sound is coming from, the Kirby Heritage chip. No, okay. So I think where the sound is coming from is this commutator. If you look, it needs a polishing, and the only way to really do that is by using. They make these little polishing sticks that you can use while it's running, and so I just need to yeah, I don't know, that doesn't look good at all. Yeah, it needs a polishing. And what you do is you just have it hooked up. You have it hooked up to your wires and stuff, turn it on, and then the polishing stick is made so you don't get electrocuted. And then you literally just ride along the commutator while it's running and wait for it to get nice and shiny. You can see I already cleaned it with rubbing alcohol. My rubbing alcohol has spilt all over the place. It's fine. Smells good. No, okay. But yeah, cleaning it with rubbing alcohol will at least get all that loose dirt and carbon dust off of there. So hopefully that will help. I just put my Kirby on reverse mode here, one of my Kirby's, and blew out the motor. I'm gonna try cleaning these fan blades with a Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol, and hopefully I can get this thing to sound proper. You can see where some stuff is caught on them, and there is a bit of fine dust on them, so hopefully I can work something out. And I might sand this, get this rust off here. Who knows, I might even paint it. Just gotta tape up the hole. Alright, so anyways, I'm gonna I guess I could film it. Okay. So yeah, it's got obviously the 12 amp motor with the big, huge, old school, huge motor housing that's quite a few inches in diameter. Yep, so that's opposite way, which means you got good carbon brushes. If you hear that little rattle, that means your carbon brushes are good, because that means your carbon brushes are dragging along it in the improper way, and if you can hear that, it means you still got a lot of carbon brush left. If you can't hear that, that means you're probably on your way out. Now the other way it should sit, you shouldn't hear that, because that's the way they go. Yeah. Wait, that little bit of sound you're hearing is the dirtiness on the commutator. And you got all the wires here. Make sure you hook them back up to the right locations. So yeah, I've already cleaned out this. So yeah, I'm just gonna let that Q-tip go. Smells like probably could use sanding, just get a fresh one. Already oiled up the brush hole and cleaned it. There's actually a decent bit of hair on it. It's definitely got worn out bearings. This is the old brush hole out of my Eureka Ultima. But if I could save money, I'd just use that one because my Ultima got a new brush hole. Because ones. Someone had a couple brand new ones for like $10. I bought one for $5. So yeah, there's a little bit of rust on here. That's to be expected. Actually, try getting some of the rust off. This hose isn't very tough. That squeak is the upper bearing on there. This rust is just surface rust. This thing sat in one of my dad's RVs for a long time. And I'm like, hey, can I have this? And he said, yeah. Want me to show you how to put a cord on it? And I'm like, oh, God, I didn't even notice, but yeah. Now we didn't even run it all the way down to here. It's still the original cord in here. We just pretty much added on to where it was chopped off, which isn't necessarily the safely proper way to do it, but if I could at least get this nice and smooth, I'll be happy. It does spin quite easily, so shut up. Dislocated the brush. Or disengaged the belt. So now we're gonna start with. Oh, you just walk right on in now?
He said yeah.
I did not say yeah. What? What's up?
I don't know, but like all my lights and stuff turned off. Do you know why? I'm not mad at you, but like, I don't know.
Lights turned off?
Yeah, and my heater. Maybe without me.
I don't know. I still got. I don't know. Ugh, 1 second, guys. Okay, guys. One of our breakers just flipped or something, because my stuff is still working, so I don't know. Okay, I got some Q-tips. Don't ever use, like, cheap Q-tips, because they'll fall apart in there. It's not going to do you any good. Lean you up against my impact. You don't realize how, when I was still using drills, everyone looked at me like, why aren't you just using an impact gun? I'm like, well, they're just not as nice. And they're like, no, they're actually way smoother when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh. And Yeah, sure enough, they were right. I'm using rubbing alcohol because it dries. It's about the best thing you can use on these small little motors. You don't want to use anything that will take more than a minute to dry. This stuff dries pretty much as you apply it. So. Oh yeah, there's a bit of dirt on there, but I don't think it's what's causing
Power off.
I don't think that's what's causing the sound. This motor is probably just worn out. It's just, I don't really know if I want to spend the money on a new motor for this because of the fact that, well, it is kind of worn out. I mean, there's not even a headlight harness in it anymore. I could put it back in if I wanted to. I just took it out because I didn't have any light bulbs for this. And it was just getting in the way when I was putting the motor back in. This is about the only way to do it if you don't have any and we'll also wipe this down. Actually, I might help if I did this. Don't play around with rubbing alcohol, guys. It is kind of some weird stuff. It's not just the average play liquid. Don't get it on your skin, or at least try not to, because it hurts. And if you already have dry skin, it's going to hurt really bad. We pretty much got rid of all the rust. I just don't want this rust around the fan, especially because it's going to make it not seal as nicely. You just want at least a smooth surface. And I don't want this rust to spread and eventually start holding, because then dirt will start flying through it and getting into the motor housing, which then will get into the motor. Oh yeah, that's nice and smooth. I don't know if I'm not putting it on right or something, but it's super annoying. This never happens on my Omegas. But then again, every single generation of Kirby, the quality gets worse, so. didn't think that was actually gonna work. It's polished. Still sounds really bad though. I wonder if it's something in here where the, what is it called, the armature is. I'm not going to try polishing it anymore because this probably is a little too abrasive for that. Oh, let's put it back together, see if I can give it a run for you guys. Okay, I know the yellow goes right here. Oops. And the white goes over here. Oh, you gotta be kidding. What?
I'm just letting you know my lights turned back on here.
Okay. Does your heater need to be on right now?
I was cold.
But I'm just saying right now it doesn't need to be on.
No. Do you want it off?
Well, I'm just saying that could have been what caused it. Is all the heaters running.
Yeah.
But if you're cold, don't worry about it. Oh, I forgot to put the seal on. This is one of the easiest vacuums. Make sure none of your wires are getting pinched like mine are. Originally, these do have like a piece of foam wrapped around the motor. I took it off because it just kind of gave me anxiety. Okay. I would hope it sounds a little nicer. I'm not going to lubricate anything because there's really no proper way to lubricate these. And everything seems to be fitting fine. I love this vacuum so much. I just love how everything fits together. Quality. Oops, forgot you guys were leaned up against that. Join the base. Okay, there's only 4 screws holding this housing on. They're all easy to get out, which is nice. This is a variable speed and torque impact, so I'm just kind of torquing them down barely. Alright, well, it's in. It's time to give her a run. It's time to give her a run. Run. It might be on. On! Guys. Dude, it actually sounded decent. What the hell? It actually sounds like okay. And it still doesn't sound beautiful. It's not like that was the proper way to polish a commutator, but you don't have a polishing stick, and they're kind of expensive. And kind of scary because you have to have the motor sitting out of it. I just powered the motor with my freaking Kirby, for God's sake. Yeah, let's see what it sounds like with the bag cover on. It sounds like it's straining a little bit. Maybe I can tell that that homemade filter of mine is straining it now because of the fact that the motor actually sounds a little decent. It doesn't seem to have as much suction power as it normally would. So guys, I think that's a success. Actually sounds kind of sort of healthy. And like all the wires, I kind of just memorized things. I took pictures of the motor, but I'm filming. I always take pictures of things before I take it apart. And luckily I made sure I got the wires on the right spot. I honestly don't know if it will actually affect anything. It could, but I like to put it together the way it was when I first got this thing, and I doubt anyone else was in there. But yeah, this thing actually sounds pretty healthy. Like, you know, they call it a quiet clean. It kind of sounds like a quiet clean, like it's not even that loud. So, go ahead and plop the bass back on this bad boy. See if this bottle has enough in it to... Nope. 5 pounds are heavy. PS4 controller? Adjustment wheels here. One of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint this spring, so that's gonna have to wait. It's super ugly. I would paint the motor mounts, but it's not too much of a concern, but not as bad as the ones on the Lightspeed were, so. Alright. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have quite as much suction power. That's about all I can tell. Maybe it's not sealing. God, the motor's really hot. Should it be getting that hot when it's just... I don't know. Maybe the motor's not sealing somewhere nicely. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just imagining things. Maybe it needs a new bag. I don't know why the motor axle's so hot. Because I don't think the little bit of a polish that I gave with the steel and wool, this is very fine steel and wool. So I don't think it would have hurt it that much. It's just super hot to the touch. love how nicely the motor mounts go on with this one. The light speed, it's a nightmare. Why is that so hot? I mean, that's like my only concern. Is hopefully I didn't do something that would make it get hot. I don't really run it for very long. No. It should still be fairly cool, realistically. It's usually this side that can still be a little bit of a pain in the ass. Oh. Maybe that was on the light speed too. God, Eureka. Make up your mind. You want to make things complicated for people or easy for people? This Eureka victory is really when Eureka was trying still. The only thing they did bad back around the time this was made was an unbalanced fan problem. Signature lean. But it sounds better, and that's all that matters. God, I don't remember the lean being this bad, Jesus. This thing kind of reminds me in the V2, in the manner of all the screws thread in nicely. Everything just feels nice built. Oh, nice. Well built, besides this pedal, apparently. Correct. The new battery for my Heart Tools just came in the other day. The 1.5 amp hours that came with my set don't last very long, so I got some 4 amp ones, and I didn't know because I didn't see it in the pictures that there's a battery checker. I don't think I'm going to paint this spring. I kind of just got to get this thing back together. Sooner than later. Oh yeah. This one goes here. There's so many spots for adjustment wheel springs to hook onto. I wonder if they did that for like when your spring starts getting stretched out or something. I don't know. why you never put your face in front of one of these. So hopefully, like I said, I hope there isn't something I did that made this thing just freaking hate itself and not overheat. It shouldn't have been that hot. Like, it actually kind of burnt my finger. Like I said, I already did the belt. Or not belt, ruffle. This brush this base is a little bit different. It doesn't really act like the other eurekas do. It doesn't go in like the other eurekas do. You actually don't even use this hex part at all. You use the maybe I should have done that. It does sound better. That's the point, right? Eventually, this thing's probably just going to need a new motor. I mean, like, I don't really know how much longer I can just keep doing these random little tune-ups, because eventually I'm going to do a tune-up and the fan's just going to fall off or something. The motor shaft is going to snap. Alright, it's completely put together. I don't know, guys. Let's give it a try. Well, it don't sound too bad. I mean, like, definitely sounds better. Like, there's definitely a drastic difference. Doesn't smell like freaking burnt bird poop either anymore. So I'll call that success. I mean, it definitely gets warm quicker, but it's always kind of done that for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see if it picks anything up. Some of the noise you still hear is vibration in this bass, like, you know, and this, you guys probably saw when I did this, it quieted down quite a bit, so, but it does clean, so that's good, and it definitely sounds a little bit better, not beautiful or anything. About what I would expect. Sounds better than most Bissell clean views. I wonder if I should give it a fresh bag, and I'll just keep this bag for the mess of this. Jesus. Oh, there's a hole in the bag. So that's not good. So I have these really random papery eureka style AA bags that I got at my local hardware store for like $1 for 2-pack, which isn't bad. Ooh, that looks good. These bags are super cheap, but they work. I really like these top fill bags. I like it more than the Bissells, where you have to try and get it on that little collar. Like this, you can kind of see what you're doing. Go into that seal. What have I done? Alright, fresh bag. Yeah, access actually seems to run fairly decent. A little bit better. And it's always kind of gotten hot, so I don't know why I'm randomly stressing it now. It's always kind of been a little bit of an overheater, but doesn't actually go into thermal overload. I think it's that bass that vibrates a lot because honestly, it sounded like super good when we had it off the bass, and now it's not nearly as good, really. It still sounds better, because now it's just the bass, not the motor and the bass combined, making noise. But so, I mean, I guess we could do a natural dirt with it, eh? Cabin away. Shiny cubby. Oh, this is such a tight fit night. Okay. Oh, everything is just locking tight on this thing. Oh. On all of them. Except the G4 feels a little more flimsy. The G4s in all the Generation series is really not as nice quality as you'd think, considering what the, older Kirby's were. That's why when it comes to Kirby's, I get the fizz over the older ones, like not the old ones, but like the Omegas or the 1CR through Heritage Legend, like those. Kristen, can you shut that alarm off? She's been listening to her alarm there like a little weirdo. Chris! You gotta come see how good Micron sounds.
I'm trying on this brand new shirt. Well, it looks brand new.
That does not look brand new.
No, not this.
Sounds actually, it still has that weird like, but you can tell it's quiet.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like as quiet as lightning.
Well, guess what? It's the vacuum of the week, so.
Okay.
But do you actually not like lightning?
He's fine.
I just feel like you're not going to want to clean the filter every time you use it. Did you do it today?
No,
Yeah.
because I felt like it didn't have to be cleaned right away.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. If you don't do it every time you use it, it'll literally just start stacking up and then you'll never get it clean again. I'm filming, so don't freaking do your waddle walk with the vacuum.
Also, here's lightning. Lightning is our eureka speed. And I say our because I borrow his vacuums and he like playing vacuum games and stuff.